Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today's topic is the top 5 tips for avoiding death by PowerPoint. Well, I've listened to many PowerPoint presentations and actually been through many presentations myself. Why PowerPoint is when your PowerPoint completely kills your presentation. So how do we offset that? How do we overcome that? And the techniques and the tips that you need to follow in order to avoid death by PowerPoint. So my name is Yugandhar Manthina, and I'm the talent development expert. I'd like to share those important things with you. So let's begin. The first one, and when I say first, it's really the first one. The one that's most often ignored by many people. For one is, you have to make sure that your presentation is concise and not elaborate. So make sure you are not putting anything that is not needed to make an impact or to drive home the point that your presentation intends to drive home. So depending on the goal or objective of your presentation, you have to ensure that whatever you're putting there on the slides is absolutely necessary. Otherwise, you need to discard it. Anything that you think does not give a punch to the presentation must be put to the sword and removed ruthlessly. Otherwise, it's going to hurt your presentation. So that's point one. Keep it concise. When I say keep it concise, I mean 2 or 3 things. First one, use as few slides as possible. If something can be done in 5 slides must be in your PowerPoint. Even the 6th slide is unnecessary and must be removed. If something can be told in, let's say, as few as 4 slides or 3 slides, it has to be 4 slides or 3 slides. Do not keep adding on slides and adding on text, that for sure is not important or not going to really add or give any extra punch to your point. Second, avoid that overwhelming text. I see, PowerPoint slides which are completely loaded and filled up with a lot of text on that. That's a big no-no. You must avoid that. And third one is avoid data overload. Don't overload your PPT with a lot of data as well, because the audience need to know only the crux of the issue, the overall gist of the issue. And your PowerPoint need to nicely move to the background and then be as an additional tool that is providing that additional punch that you want to deliver in your presentation. It shouldn't be the number one that pushes you or that relegates you to the background. That shouldn't be the idea. Okay, so that's point one. Be concise. Keep your presentation concise. Don't go overboard. Now let's look at point two. Point two is utilize your visuals very cleverly. You don't really have to create a slide if all you're going to put on that is just text and text and text. No. If there's something that you can really add to your presentation by showing graphs, charts, pictures, images, and visuals, right? Now that's something that you must include. And make sure even they are not overloaded with too much of data. So use your visuals very smartly. Make sure they have those pictures or charts or graphs, because they say in as few words what cannot be said in thousands of spoken word. Secondly, make sure you respect the 10-20-30 rule. So what is this 10-20-30 rule? It means make sure your PowerPoint presentation has no more than 10 slides, should last no more than 20 minutes, and no font should be below 30 font size. So simple. 10 slides, 20 minutes, and 30 font size. That's the minimum. Because a lot of these guys who are actually going through your presentation are busy people, and they don't really have the time to go through small details. And so if the text is little, you can increase the font size and make sure it's clearly visible. The big words are clearly visible, and they don't really have to strain themselves to read what is there on that. So that's point 2. Point 3, limit your bullet points. When you have to put some text on this slide, make sure the slide doesn't have too much text, like I told you, but then you must limit it to 2 or 3 points, 2 or 3 bullet points. That's it per slide. Well, I've seen many PowerPoints with 5, 6, 7, 8 bullet points, and each point as long as 2 lines. So that defeats the very purpose of a PowerPoint presentation, and people will quickly tune you out, and you will lose your ability to engage with the audience, and they will tune you out. So the third one is limit your bullet points. So that's what I meant. Make sure they're no more than 2 or 3. Avoid lengthy lists. And then the fourth one is focus on storytelling. Can you tell a story? Just spend some time. If your PowerPoint can be converted into your theme, the point that you want to drive across through the presentation can be converted into a story. Now, why are stories important? Well, stories are important because somehow all human beings are hardwired to listen to stories. So when you tell something in the form of a story, people are more likely to listen to you and then be engaged till the end. Somehow we do not know, but genetically we're all programmed to listen to a story with far more interest than listen to set of data points, which is less engaging. And finally, make sure that you are engaging the audience by asking questions, by inviting their comments, or by somehow creating a kind of interaction. Maybe you could set up a poll or a survey as your presentation moves on, so that the audience is not made to become passive consumers of your information, but they're made to be active part of your presentation, active participants in your presentation. So I think these are the 5 most important points that one has to keep in mind before one could prepare absolutely outstanding and engaging presentations using the PowerPoint. Now, if you fail to do these things, then we end up with the so-called death by PowerPoint. I'm sure you will now avoid these things, the 5 deadly traps that can lead to death by PowerPoint. So I hope you like this presentation. Do not forget to hit the subscribe button and also like it, and also hit the notifications button so that the next time I put up the next slide, you will be notified. Thank you so much.